So y'all gonna hear something really, really funny. Given the fact that I'm an ex-felon, I'm actually a board member of the Riverside Gun Owners Association. So,
Hey, God, no! He turned it sideways. Kill shot. That's a kill shot.
You ain't black.
And you ain't black.
I mean, a lot of people are really worried about this new HR 8 gun law.
Oh,
They
yes.
always say that it's always registration precedes
go.
confiscation, numeration precedes confiscation, so on and so forth.
Break it down.
Yeah.
What on
two-way all
earth is
day.
going on with this thing, man?
so basically, if you translate it, they really just want to slow down the process that you can't protect yourself.
Thank you.
Slow down the
That-
process.
that's really
Thank
what
you.
it
and they
is.
want to
I'm-
know every single thing about you.
Yeah. So,
I'm nefarious.
so y'all gonna hear something really, really funny. Given the fact that I'm an ex-felon, I'm actually a board member of the Riverside Gun Owners Association. So,
Well, okay. Yeah.
I'm like,
Fantastic.
yeah, like, you know,
You can't make that stuff up.
yeah. You can't make this up. Yeah,
Look,
you know
I'm
what I
just
mean?
glad to see that there's another guy from behind bars in the room now, because I used to be the only one.
You
here.
was the
Only one that got a number.
Yeah, no, and so those are some of the conversations that
I
we
was
talk
raised as a
about.
Christian.
Getting a mugshot doesn't count, right? You have to have been convicted of something, right?
Hey, bro.
Hey, don't say nothing on record. Be quiet. You're gonna incriminate yourself. What's wrong with you?
You can't.
Where'd
use
you grow
pri-
from?
You can't
Right.
use prison filters. You know what I mean?
right. Okay.
So anyway, I mean, what I found, my biggest frustration with all this new gun control measures is we've been through this before in California. People don't realize, but California had this big hullabaloo several years ago about increasing the limitations on ex-felons or anybody who had been convicted of certain types of mental illnesses. All right, from being able to go get a gun or having to get additional
Right.
scrupulation or background checks and everything. And not only is there a moral problem with limiting somebody's constitutional rights based upon mental illness. We don't say, for example, no, we're going to restrict your freedom of speech because
Mental illness.
you have Tourette's,
Or you can't vote because you're bipolar.
Oh yeah, you can't vote because you're bipolar, or you don't have freedom of religion. You have to be evangelical, or you have to be atheist because you have ADD. You know what I'm saying? We don't
That's
we don't
crazy.
say that. We don't limit somebody's constitutional.
That's a good
protections.
point. That's a good
A
point.
very good point.
Yeah,
that's a
based
really good
upon
point.
mental illness. Well,
Yeah.
they did it anyway. And the stupid thing is they handed over a list, which in my opinion was unconstitutional. But when you did the math, and I'm just using an example here, I don't remember the exact statistics, but it was like of the 25,000 people on that list, the FBI reported that to perform the average background check, like they have to physically go to the person's house, try and do a wellness check. If they're not there, they can leave a notice they have 30 days to respond to.
What?
If they don't respond to that first notice, they leave like a second notice they have 30 days to respond to. So like it takes, in order to fulfill the parameters of the background check that these people had, it would take like, the FBI can only do like 2 or 3 of them a day.
Yeah, it's
And
crazy.
so it would take them, like, we did the
It's
math on our show, and it would like take a fully staffed FBI, and they're already understaffed, okay?
yeah,
It would take
exactly.
a fully staffed FBI literally like 120 years just to
Literally.
fulfill,
I got dizzy listening to you describe all the things they had to do.
Right.
It's
You
like
see my face?
You need like a GPS to follow that plan.
Well,
Like,
yeah, so imagine if we've created a law, that says, oh, if you're on this list, well, you don't worry, we just have to get this background checked on you. Well, if you're part of a 120-year backlog, you've backdoored a way of taking away somebody's gun rights.
yeah,
Yeah.
So
that's
all
what they're
of
aiming
this-
for.
Same thing with saying like giving liability to taking liability from certain companies. That's in essence the manufacturing process of actually trying to buy one. I mean
Yeah.
that's disrupting their.
Imagine
their
if we
rights.
told home goods manufacturers that if somebody uses your knife to commit a murder, which still exceeds the amount committed by handguns.
Yes,
You know what
exactly.
I'm
Preach.
saying?
Especially in Europe.
Yeah,
there's no
exactly.
guns.
Imagine if we told Cutco knives, you know what I'm saying? If your knife is actually found on a crime scene,
Yep.
you're going to be liable
Liable.
for the
Yep.
crime.
Yep.
I mean,
Toyota, a vehicle,
Exactly.
yeah,
run over somebody.
Well, we can't talk about this gun law, right, without specifically breaking down black people relationship with guns, right? Because now let's be honest, right? Black people with guns are perceived a little differently. Exercising our Second Amendment right. There was a study done actually where in the same neighborhood with the same police precinct, there was a black guy walking down the street exercising his right, and he had a
open
permit.
carry, open carry.
The open carry, yes.
open carry.
Within minutes, people, random citizens called the police. Police came, had him on the floor, searching him, all that other stuff. white guy walking down the street with the rifle, exercising his Second Amendment rights. Somebody called the police. The police comes up, literally is just standing there talking to this guy like a normal human being, like a normal person, which is what should happen. That's what should happen, right?
Yeah.
And then the guy explained to him he has his permits and everything. He's not violating any law. He's exercising his Second Amendment right.
Dude, not Kick. Sorry, Lucas. We all saw The
Do I look
Office.
like
It
him?
depends how you hold it.
Hey, God, no, he turned it sideways. Kill shot. That's a kill shot.
It depends on
Depends on how you hold it.
this was strapped over. This was strapped.
It's a kill shot.
Right. I mean, and so tell the truth. If
Does he look
MAGA Hulk,
light-skinned?
if MAGA Hulk was walking down the street with the open carry, that might be perceived a little different.
Look, the guns
Then if
I'm
he
worried
walks-
about. The guns I'm worried about on MAGA Hulk.
MAGA
are not
Hulk
bigger than
gun.
anything he's gonna have strapped to his head, baby.
Yeah.
I was gonna say he looks intimidating without the gun.
Without the gun,
yeah.
exactly.
So what do you Hulk, what do you think about that? What do you think about the perceived notion that he was talking about?
Well, I mean, I think it's. I mean, I can see it both ways at the same time, but I just think that with this whole gun legislation, they're just pushing towards universal background
Yeah,
checks.
and they always sugarcoat it as in, well, it's just reasonable gun legislation.
Exactly.
It's reasonable gun legislation.
Exactly.
And we always talk about the frog and the boiling pot. You put this in here, put that in there. I mean, first of all, everybody was mad when California went to 10 rounds. Now notice how they want to do 10 rounds nationwide.
When will it
And-
end? Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's the thing.
What if they want fingerprints now, or what if they want to draw blood to get a gun?
And here's my thing, and I'm gonna pass it over to Pastor Brian. Is when they do this third party check to check, it's gonna open up to an actual list. That's where it's gonna go, because we already have background
A
checks
list.
on the initial.
we go.
But how are you supposed to compare when you have a third party cell and you want to know what's going on and background check that? What papers or what list are you going to reference to?
You need
well,
a
then you're going to
universal
need a list.
It won't be
and
that
those things
enforceable.
happen in Australia, parts of Europe, and
And this is my concern with the black community is we need to have internal logic in these arguments. We need consistency. And if we're going to go out and claim that the African American community is disproportionately afflicted by violence, especially by violence by horrible white supremacist cops, a bigoted culture, other
Homicide.
people, in their communities and so on and so forth, you've made a very strong argument for arming
Thank
the
you.
black community.
Yep.
Protecting yourself.
Yeah, you've made a very strong argument for them needing easier access
You
to
got it.
guns.
You got it.
Not more
Because we're
access
the
to
most
guns.
afflicted.
And you have to
Exactly.
remember,
That's good.
this
That's a good point,
is-
Card.
Good.
Yeah,
Tell that to Democrats.
well, dude, this is part of our heritage
Yeah,
here, man.
man. Yeah.
I mean, it's part of my heritage as a Californian. It's part of your guys' heritage as African Americans. But this is the premise of the Black Panther Patrols.
You got it.
Literally.
People don't realize
got
it,
it.
but
Yeah.
the Black Panthers created what is now the school lunch program. I mean, their whole
Where they were
self-care.
feeding the neighborhood. Yeah.
Yeah, they were feeding the neighborhood. And they said, we're going to get donated food and we'll make sure that no kid goes to school hungry. And they also said, okay, well, if we got a big complaint about white supremacist cop violence, we have the right to bear arms. So we're just going to start our own volunteer patrols. And you get these guys walking around straight up open carrying. I don't care if it's a little 22 hunting rifle.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Intimidating.
dude.
Yeah.
And what happens to that violence from the cops? You know what I'm saying?
what do you think? What do you think
So-
about that, Pastor?
So it's like I think BLM should be like the Pink Pistols. The Pink Pistols are an LGBTQ activist group who says gays with guns don't get bashed, and they offer free self-defense courses. Yeah, they
I'm
offer
not mad at that.
yeah, they offer free self-defense courses and arms training courses for any LGBTQ person who just feels threatened and wants to be able to defend themselves.
But
okay,
does that still
BLM
happen now? Like, do people walk around just bashing gay people now? I mean, this isn't like the 70s or 80s, right? No, like that's a serious question.
supposedly,
Yeah, I don't-
supposedly we're
Does
still
that happen
slaves
today?
too, so they're
Yeah.
probably still.
Yeah, well, the point is, we're not trying to question any statistical relevance because one would be too many.
That's
what we're
true.
questioning right now is the ethos and the spirit of the argument. And
Mm-hmm.
the spirit of the argument is that in the United States of America, as a free man, as an independent man, if you are threatened, you should be able to defend yourself.
That simple.
Yes.
And you defend yourself with the ultimate equalizer,
Yes,
which
sir.
is a firearm.
That simple.
Okay? So if BLM were really interested in protecting black lives, they would be in the business of
arming us.
empowering and arming
I like
black
that.
people. And I think we should start here. Will you offer arms courses, MAGA Hulk? you could be the first.
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's
Of course.
go.
No, they're not going to do it because they don't understand that the Democrats are the ones that disarm the public in Democrat-run cities.
pushing it.
What do you think about that,
So
Pastor?
so it appears as what they're trying to do is recreate a real life Demolition Man.
Wow.
I don't know if you guys.
Right.
I don't know if you ever seen that
Yes,
movie.
sir.
Dude, solid 90s
That's a
reference.
great- that's a
Solid
great one.
90s
Yeah,
reference.
That's a great one.
You know,
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
at Kick.
I was-
You can always tell a millennial in the room when you reference
When you
reference a
reference
movie.
something
I'm like, uh-oh,
a movie from
the
the
wheels are
90s.
turning right now.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
wheels are turning right now.
Love it.
You know, be well, Lieutenant Huxley. You know,
Yes.
you know.
Demolition.
In the movie Demolition Man, literally they got rid of Wesley Snipes. You know, they froze him.
Yep.
When he
Yeah.
came back, nobody had guns. You know, they gave the police officers these night glow sticks.
You got it.
And they had to use assertive language. But they couldn't cuss. They couldn't. And obviously somebody came along and dismounted it all.
Yeah.
They're trying to unarm America.
Yeah, you got
Literally.
it. You got it.
2020 was a preseason. It was an attempt to see how far we can go. Being a father, I know children they'll try,
Oh, yes,
and then
sir.
they'll come
Yes,
back
sir.
and they'll come back an hour later and they'll keep going and keep going
Push the
until
envelope.
eventually they'll wear you down. It remind me of when and you might have to look this up. The attorney couple that found themselves
Yes.
having to protect their home,
Yes.
which they were demonized.
Yes.
Because
yes, I remember.
you saw a group of protesters or mob or whatever you want to characterize them. If it's on CNN, they were protesters. Fox, they were a mob, a militia, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
You want to characterize it, but they had rifles.
Yep.
So because they had rifles, the people
They
that
have
was
to be
coming
shot
into
down.
their house changed their mindset.
You
They
got
turned
it.
themselves around.
Exactly.
And ultimately, I mean, this is part of the communist regimen. Like, I don't know if you've ever read the Communist Manifesto, but this is exactly what they're trying to do. They want to unarm America.
Yeah.
The 2A laws in gun legislation, it only hurts law-abiding citizens. It
That's
doesn't.
it.
It only hurts law-abiding citizens, and it's sad when I see politicians trying to disarm people.
You got it,
And then okay with criminals having firearms. Like, everything is addressed towards legal, law-abiding citizens.
Right.
And it's sad that the Second Amendment is even in question.
Right.
That we even talking about the Second Amendment. Like, there are greater things that we should be
let's
talking about.
go.
Like, I know they're setting up for the 25th Amendment the way Joe Biden
yeah,
has
you
been
better
carrying
believe it.
himself.
You better believe it.
But to even consider altering the Second Amendment, I just think it's just one of the worst mistakes that any legislator, and for the sake of what, to stay in seat or to stay in power, every American has a right
Literally.
to protect their property. To protect
and
I was
their
so
property.
proud of this
And I
couple.
remembered when
And me
this
too.
happened. Hope,
Yeah.
can you explain to the people how whenever people use the Second Amendment to defend themselves on a world stage, I mean on the U.S. stage, they're always demonized and attacked by the system because they don't want those people to be shown as heroes for defending themselves with the Second Amendment. What happened to that couple? What did they do to that couple?
Oh, they vilified and disparaged, and they tore them down. And now, mind you, these people, this couple's they're Democrats, right?
You talk about the McCloskeys, these guys?
Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, they're freaking
that?
awesome.
Remember that?
But you got
I want to get that tattoo. Right?
right there.
That's it.
The wife
Wait,
was
the
packing.
wife? The wife or the husband?
Oh.
No, dude, both of them. This
Both.
is like
Okay.
an icon.
Bonnie
Like,
and
look at
Clyde
these
right there.
people.
That's
an
a seminar
iconic
right there.
Like,
You know what I mean?
dude, the best part is it looks like he is just like straight up looking down the iron sight, seeing if she's doing it right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Like, girl, you better.
See that right there?
Yeah.
Like, girl, you better be holding it right.
Yeah,
You better not have that finger on the trigger
It
unless you're
looks
ready
like
to
they
shoot.
both know what they're doing though,
That's-
at the end of the
but
day.
to tell you the truth, though, you got to get rid of the Second Amendment if you're going to try to get rid of the first, right?
Oh,
you got
yeah,
to. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And that's what they're trying to do. They're always trying to stifle free speech. They're always trying to get rid of that and put a block on that. So you got to get rid of the Second Amendment so they can be able to do so.
The congressman, forget his name at the moment, he made a speech about when it went to the House or whatnot, and it was so powerful. It was so powerful. The gentleman,
The Congressman Dave Chappelle, when he said we have the First Amendment, and then
the
we got the
First
Second Amendment in case the first one don't
Doesn't
work out
work,
too
yeah.
well.
that's legendary.
Were you quoting Congressman Chappelle?
Hey, with the type of people we have in the house right now, and it is comedy.
It's satire.
It's a circus show.
Dude, I got this phrase that
The
I say on
circus
my
have come to town.
Right.
dude, listen to this one, bro. I got a phrase that I use quite often on my other radio program. Dude, that we used to laugh at comedians and listen to politicians. Now we listen to comedians and we laugh at politicians. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
Yeah, there's a little bit of
That's
truth to
good.
that. So anyway, keep going. Kick. You
No,
were
there
hitting
was
it.
a congressman that won the last. He's in a wheelchair. He was a former.
Madison Hawthorne.
Okay.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
had
Hawthorne,
he had a speech.
Hawthorne.
It was so he knows exactly what's going on. He said on the behalf of the American people, just come and take it. At this point, he just said, "We know what you're doing.
Yeah.
We know you want your guns.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys want our guns. We get it.
Come
Just-
and try and take it.
Yeah, he just said,
Come and try and take it. Shit.
and he just said at the end of the day, come and take it. And I saw that and I just got chills because, some people know what's going on. Other people don't know. People are ignorant to it. People are blind to it. But, I mean, come on. Democrats, literally every time that there's a shooting, they go straight to gun legislation.
You better believe
And that's
it.
just the course of what we've seen in the past 4-8 years. You get what I'm saying?
This is real talk. You ain't black.
And you ain't black.